What up? Waiting on David still. Should be in a little bit in a second. I'll pop something on while we're waiting though, because I don't want to be on the start screen for 15 minutes. Let's see. Pulling this over here. Oh. Never mind, he's hopping on now. Let's see. Let me swap this over now. They can't hear me. Now they can hear me. All right, yeah, we're already live.
You're alive.
Let's see.
Yeah.
What?
Reorganized a lot of the office.
Nice.
So still getting used to new lighting setups, and I think I have to rechange it again.
That sucks.
Was
Let's see. Becky said, guess who's watching this podcast right now from Maine?
Who's watching it? Who is it? Ah.
I guess that's how David welcomes people in Maine.
It's true.
What part of Maine are you in right now?
Yeah, where you at, homie?
He's outside your house.
How long you staying?
David will buy you a beer.
I mean, truly, if
if you're nearby,
tomorrow.
yeah. If you're nearby. He said, hell yeah, David's house. He's there. He's with you right now. It's just a random guy in the corner. Yeah, he said, look behind you. Let's see. Amazon Day's happening right now, and I don't see anything I want, luckily.
Yeah, like fucking everywhere is doing sales right now, and it pisses me off because I can't do it.
I can, but I shouldn't. Like, more not than anything. Let's see. I've been in New England for a week. Arrived in Portland, Maine today.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're not that far. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
drive up about an hour.
Everything in Maine's
It's like an hour, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be about an hour.
Hour and a half. No more than an hour and a half.
I mean, if you take an hour and a half to get there, then you're doing something wrong. Usually, it takes me like 30 minutes.
Was it 30 minutes? Okay, I'm getting the opposite times. I would drive all over the country.
You got it right. It normally takes an hour to get to Portland. It takes me 30 minutes.
Okay, and then they said that Abaki will arrive in Bar Harbor tomorrow. You're probably gonna pass right by David.
No, Bar Harbor's way north.
No, I know that, but do they take a different route to get from Portland to Bar Harbor?
He's going to Acadia Bay. What up? Yeah.
Or would they drive right by you?
Right. He technically could take a route that cuts through here. So yeah.
There you go. David will buy you a drink. Stop by. and then drive continuously afterwards.
I mean, that's a fucking 4-hour drive. I don't think he's gonna want to do it at night.
David doesn't care. Where you live, David?
Maine.
You used to live in a place called Bath, which is funny to me.
True. Yeah, I'll shoot you a message on the
If you're actually
Twitters
interested,
there.
go talk to him on Twitter. We're not gonna dox David
Yeah.
live on YouTube.
It's true.
It'd be funny though.
Yeah, because you'll, especially if you're going up to Bar
Yo.
Harbor, you'll have to come back through this way later on, anyways.
I just saw Neo just retweeted this. Apparently in Across the Spider-Verse, which you've seen,
Mhm.
that ending shot where Gwen had the group together, the best shot in the entire movie, was added 6 weeks before it released.
Fascinating.
I hate that. That sounds terrible. I would hate to be working on this film and it's like, oh, release date's coming. There's like no saying you can't finish.
Oh, the way you phrased it made it sound like it was an impromptu thing added in.
No, that's a crunch thing.
Oh God. All right. Yeah, crunch is terrible.
Yeah. I remember, yeah, they mentioned that Spider-Verse crunch was terrible. Man, you're a legend here. Everyone heard of Big Dave. I'm kind of surprised there are quite a bit of Russians here. That's why they've heard of him. So many Russians.
True.
Welcome to Blurby's Podcast, episode number 225. We're getting there.
We're almost at 300.
Yeah, almost. I'm Adrian. That's David.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna make this. I know. I do this every time. That's not wood, but I'm cursing it. We're gonna make this a short episode. I'm tired. I'm so frustrated with myself. I know. Like we went into Games Gone By like hyped up. We're like, this is gonna stick. We're gonna get this. There's no way it's not. And I've talked to David behind the scenes about all this. There's been like the world has been against me in terms of just staying on task with everything. I won't talk about a lot of details, but I found out last week that I was doing about 70% more work than baseline when I only asked for 30%. So I was doing 40% more than I was supposed to, which explains a lot. But there's a whole thing about that. I'm not gonna go into more about that, but there is a whole thing behind that. And I'm tired. I'm very tired. I am so tired.
He's an EP boy.
Yeah, I went to go chaperone homecoming. I've never been to homecoming ever. Even like my own schools. So I decided to chaperone. Finally, I feel like this is the year that I feel comfortable enough to chaperone. Like my students wouldn't have cared. Like when I first started, they wouldn't have cared. Last year, they definitely wouldn't have cared. But like I feel like my feet's in the ground a little more. I know everyone a bit, so I'm like I feel comfortable in like doing it now. So I did that. And there was an issue with I was gonna get out. It was like I think I got there at 7:45. Drove up north in New Mexico. Drove to see a Mr. Geek. Did you see what's going on with him? He's running for city council of his city.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Good for him. The town he's in, it's not rural. It's definitely like it's a town. I should say that. But it's one of those places that just does not retain youth. So even though I may disagree with some of his political takes, he's not egregious in it, which is why I never mind him. It's on the spectrum. It's like on the side of disagreement, but like not the side of like we can't talk because of how much you just don't like things.
Yeah, there's not a lot of vitriol behind it.
There's not. It'd be more. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it whatsoever. I would say it's more just upbringing into where you're at, right? But I'm happy for him. Come a long way. It was one of those moments. He had a whole like 15-minute speech. He went with them, which was great. And I mentioned this before. I didn't really. I don't know if I mentioned it on Twitter. It's been a haze, but that was put in perspective a little more. Yeah, I've had it a few times, but it really put in perspective how far like our group has come. Right, like we're adults now. It still doesn't feel like a thing. It feels like we're still like whatever we want and just all have drifted, not unintentionally, We've drifted just because of busy life stuff. We've all been pretty accommodating and understanding of that though, because like it's tiring, it's stressful. Like I mentioned right now, it's like I got my stuff going on, and like as much as I'm like stay the course, I got to get things done. I also don't want to put out a bad product, and I also need to prioritize being sane. So we do that all on our own, and we kind of acknowledge that. But seeing him up there doing that speech and just knowing like how we met like 13, 14 years ago, it's crazy to say. Um, it's cool. It's like as I put in perspective, like how much we're like making big waves out there in our little subset of culture, right? Even like when it gets
Yeah.
to like even Kyle, I guess like we mentioned that time, he's the baby of the group. He is out there doing education stuff. Um, one of our buddies, Matt, he's also one of the babies of the group, and he's out there doing his thing. It's cool seeing everyone kind of just get their feet on the ground and do that. So that was fun. But then, yeah, I drove all the way back and literally drove an hour and a half up north to watch him for 45 minutes. Drove an hour and a half back, got ready, did homecoming. And I was gonna do 7:45 to like 10:30, or was it? It was 10, I think. 9:45, I think it ended around there. It's supposed to be like a 2-3 hour block tops. And then um, we had an issue with the door, so I didn't get out till midnight. And then what was it the next day that I had to do? I had something midday I had to do Sunday. It was a lot of grading. And then Monday there's an Albuquerque's balloon fiesta, so all the hot air balloons go up. And to do that, if you're not a tourist, you get there at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning tops. If you're not there at that time, you are stuck in traffic for like an hour and a half.
Holy hell.
Yeah, and tourists never understand that. Locals do. So I was up and at it. Actually, I didn't sleep really that night, but yeah, like once it got down to like 3 hours, I would have got 3 hours, 2 hours. I'm like, I guess I'm just not sleeping. But got there at 4, and then I feel like I'm anemic. I get cold really easy. I don't understand it. I don't know. It's been a hectic thing. I'm not gonna ramble on for that much longer, but let me see. Let me go out. But it's been tiring. That's TLDR.
So to clarify, then, are we
Let's do it.
still?
Well, okay. Actually, let me do that. So David has finished. Why am I blanking on the name? Iron Lung.
Iron Lung?
Yeah. And you watched Nexpo's video, and you didn't really feel anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So David mentioned to me, he's like, "Hey, can we pick it every game? Because there's nothing. This game does nothing for me." Which is interesting because like I got like about a minute into that Nexpo video and just stopped it and decided to play Iron Lung for a little bit, and I was like super into it. I'm guessing I'm gonna figure out something to do with that, but I think David's been pretty confident that he has nothing, and
I could give you 10 minutes
yeah,
tops of content. And that's because that's all there is for content in that game.
And I have a good inkling with David when I could tell when I can like, no, this is a gut feeling that I know I could pull more out of him. And then this is a gut feeling that I know I can't, or I'm pretty confident that he's sticking by it. And the way he's phrasing it, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna budge David no matter what I pull out. So we're gonna just do it. I'd say let's just ride out Resident Evil 7 until next week. I want to keep it on Mondays. Iron Lung, it sounds like you really don't have anything for that. I'm gonna try my hardest, and I'll see if we can pull something out. It might be a double episode. That way we just knock out the two. The dates don't get shuffled any more than they are. Iron Lung's still on the same day. Resident Evil 7 just gets bumped back, and everything gets worked out ahead right there. So that might be the move, because I don't mind doing a double episode of that, because I don't think we're gonna talk about Resident Evil 7 as extensively as Alan Wake or FF7.
No, I don't think so.
No, because FF7 was a whole like myriad of like legacy. Alan Wake was the franchise.
7, I could still have a lot I could say about that too. So that's the other
right.
thing.
Alan Wake was a franchise with speculation and multiple games. Resident Evil 7, we haven't played 8, so there's not really much we can really speculate because it's already out. Most we could do is add DLC to that. I'll probably beat DLC by then if we get another week. So I'll do that, and you know of it, so we can talk a little bit about DLC. But I have a feeling Iron Lung is, as much as I'm gonna try to pull some content out of you, 'cause I'm still gonna try. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
go probably pretty quick, so we'll double it up that day.
All
Um,
right, that makes sense then.
yeah, that way we don't just like waste a whole Monday just doing a 30-minute episode. Uh, when we'll make it, David's need to go airport directly when coming back from Arcadia. His place is do be pretty amazing in fall though. I definitely want to go
Oh
in the
yeah.
fall. I was looking at pictures of it while I was driving through, and that's a place I want to hit up in the fall someday. Um, maybe in the future I can give the legend a visit. Do it, David accepts all visitors.
True. I just need to know ahead of time, and I can plan around things.
David's a planner. Um, David, how's your week been?
It's Microsoft Patch Tuesday, so exhausting.
Hell yeah. What was I gonna say with that? I forgot. I've been tired. Let's get to it. David, what'd you play this week? No, actually, what'd you get? Is it what did we get? I keep forgetting. I don't care that much. Whatever thing we do. Is it what'd you get?
Yeah, what did I get? All right, we'll start there. I got a few things actually. I've been winning a couple cheapo eBay auctions.
God, I hate when you did you rip people off again?
A little bit ish
I hate when you do
on
that.
some of these. So like for instance, like
Yo!
it's not like
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Stardew Valley's doing a concert tour?
yeah,
That's sick.
it is kind of neat.
I want to go.
They just released like a massive update, or they're going to one of the two.
I want to go. I don't play. I promised you, I would love this game. I just haven't done it. Shout outs to the games gone by.
That's right. That was a casualty. Yeah, that's right. That was a casualty of the prior games gone by. Well, like I mean, this I got a fair enough deal. I wouldn't say that this was like a major ripoff, but I basically got these for equivalent of like $1.50. And that is Rainbow Six 1 and 2 and War.
And we're when you're using the fucking mic to dictate stuff. Yo, what up, Kels?
Yeah. I got this for $2. Quake 4.
Who are you quaking for?
I haven't actually played. Then I also got this for a couple bucks. Project Eden on PS2.
Never heard of it.
I haven't either, but I got it for $2, and it intrigued me because it's up to 4 players co-op. So I'm like, you don't often see that on a PS2 game. And then I got this for a couple bucks. Dark Sector.
I think I have that. I forget if I did. I remember that being a pretty solid game, like a solid 7.
Speaking of a solid 7, I managed to find this locally for dirt cheap. And that is the first Full Metal Alchemist game on PS2. Shout outs to Wario64, normally fucking $70 game on Play Asia for like $18, and that's the Abyss of Sacrifice.
Is that what they were posting about? Because I saw him posting about something, and I was like, this looks like it'd be interesting.
Yeah, he posted up a couple things. I actually snagged the Ghost Trick post he did for $30 for Amazon Japan. So that'll be coming in soon. And then the last thing I got in all this here, one of my favorites of this era, also fuck BioWare and EA, but Jade Empire, the limited edition.
Hell yeah.
Still one of my favorite games, but fuck them. And that's all I got.
I definitely got stuff. I didn't move it, so I'm trying to remember if I could pinpoint what I got. I got a Plague Tale Requiem. That was $15. So I said, why not? And yep, I think that's the digital stuff. I don't really care though.
Yeah.
It's been one of those let's crunch some money. I think this is finally the first time I feel like, okay, cool. There's nothing big I really want. I pre-ordered that Evangelion 3.1 something for whatever, and I deleted it because it's not the one, it's still available, but 2, I know it's not the dub, or not the dub. It is not the original, right?
That's entirely different. No, no, no. Those are entirely different products you're thinking of.
Well, either way, I just want the original thing that everyone loves. I don't want this one that's skewed.
Well, no, because you still want that thing you canceled your pre-order of, because that's the conclusion to the entire.
Yeah,
franchise.
but okay, so fuck it though. Like I'll get to it when I get to it, which is gonna be a while. What's the thing I want? The thing I want is in that collector's edition. That is
Yeah,
wait,
it's
yeah,
in the collector's edition for the original.
yeah.
series.
So that's why I cancel it. I'm not paying $60 for something I'm gonna get to in like a year or two.
The only reason why I say to hold on to it, because that's the only way to get the 4K, and who knows?
It's
and
up right now
even
for
though
pre-order
stuff goes
too.
in-
Still, it's still open. So that's
Right.
why I bounced out because I'm like, and I'm
I only say that just because Evangelion stuff holds its value like crazy. Like I can still probably get $300 for my original.
we'll see.
collector's
I'll think
box
about
set.
it. We'll see. I'm really trying to penny pinch a bit more. We'll see if I get if this work thing works out. That'd be nice, and I'll feel a little bit better about maybe spending a little bit. I want to get my arm tattoo sleeve. Finally, I've been one for like 3 years, but we'll see.
I mean, if you really want to save money, I could trade you my original box set.
Yeah, what do you want?
You know what I want.
Yeah, I do. You know what I want though.
Yeah.
Your buddy is just, or your boss is just still just slacking on it.
Well, in his defense, he's been on vacation, going to fucking weddings and.
Tell him to
shit,
go to
so-
vacation at home and find Cubivore. Let's see. My OG Eva box set for the series still worth a good penny, even on DVD. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. If you have the platinum edition box set, that goes usually for like still like $200-300.
I could just pirate all this, right? I'm sorry. Like
Oh, yeah.
you don't give me a reason to buy your shit, or if I have to do that, I'm just gonna pirate it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
R. Oh, sorry. I
Yar.
shouldn't say it. That's a joke, everyone. R. Whatever. You can't legally buy it, right? Like
No, you can legally buy it. What the fuck are you talking about?
the collector's edition, you can legally buy right now.
Yeah.
Really? Is it? Why is it going for so much then? Or are you saying something else?
Well, I'm talking about the original DVD print. That
If
one
I
goes
want
for a lot
the
of
way
stuff.
I want to see it, which is the way you tell me to, because remember I pre-ordered this a while ago. You said don't watch that one. That's the dub or
Yeah.
whatever.
So if you're wanting to buy brand new, there's the Blu-ray collector's edition set for the original series.
How much is that?
26. That one is like 120,
Fuck off.
150-ish if you can find it.
Maybe you say $120 to watch your shit. Then I guess whatever. You don't want me to watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm back Twin Peaks. I knocked that thing out this week, I think. All right. Dave, what'd you play?
Hell yeah, nothing.
Um,
Well, technically Iron Lung.
there you go.
I played a little bit of that,
There you
and
go.
then that was a train wreck.
I have to quell my brain of the FOMO, which hopefully that's good now. So I didn't complete the Overwatch 2 season. I got like to level like 59 or something. I didn't give a shit about the Ana skin, to be fair though too. It's like whatever. It looked mid, and I'm never gonna change the one I have anyway. So I don't feel like that bad about it. Feel a little weird about it because it's like, oh, that's extra stuff. That's the way they want you to think though, and I'm turning my brain off to that. I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna let this the way they play that game where it's like, yo, you can't get this anymore. I'm like, whatever. Fuck you. I don't care then. I don't care. I'm good. Which now that I turn that off, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm probably still gonna buy it because I still play Overwatch a good amount. But I'm like, cool. Now I turn my brain off. Now that it's not complete collection, right? Now I'm like, okay, if I ever don't like something, cool, I can take my time off. So I feel like that's an investment, if anything. I did hear that Halo's new season is bringing the game finally where it should be, which I guess let's hope.
Eventually, I'll get around to playing Infinite.
Oh, it's so good. I still stand by it. I still think it's great. Did you hear about Forza Motorsport? So apparently, like all the HDR and stuff like that is just all miserable. Apparently, compared to like what they were advertising. So Digital Foundry has been just like tearing them apart. It's been interesting. Yeah, I haven't. Let's see. I played a little bit of that. I played anything else? Why do I feel like I have? I probably dabbled in a little bit of Baldur's Gate. That's about it. Yeah, no, I have not had time for anything. Hey David, go get the new PS5.
Yo, no.
Good. So the new PS5 is shown. It's slimmed, which you can't really tell by the pictures. It still looks huge. I'll take their word for it. This disk drive is detachable though.
Yeah, and then it looked like they finally announced that they're releasing the separate disk drive unit.
Yeah, but they did raise the price of the digital edition.
Oh, did they?
So the digital edition is 400. It's now 450.
Gross.
I hear that. Well, here you go. You know, you get now the PS5 has a full terabyte of hard drive space, not just the 800 some gigs that it gave you. So there you go. Shout outs. I guess
Gross.
technically that makes sense, like in terms of that, but like
No, it
no.
really doesn't. Hard drives are cheap.
No. In terms of like the $100 drop for the digital to physical thing was always pretty steep in my eyes. Like I was like, okay, cool. I know they're pretty aggressive with that pricing, because it gets to like within the shot of like a Series S. But now it's so closer to the PS5 digital. I guess they want it to be like a reason for you to like upgrade to that, which is weird because like I don't know. And then Microsoft was doing the thing where they're just getting rid of it altogether. I don't know.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I don't care. Either way, I'm sticking with what I got. I'm good. I'm happy. What else did I see? We're gonna fly through this podcast, hopefully. Actually, it seems like we might.
I mean, there's fuck all to really talk about. So
There's been a handful of things. You hear about Humble Game Collection?
yeah, that's going away.
Yeah. So
After they do a price increase, which is kind of shitty.
did you use that?
No.
What? Okay, yeah, I don't. I've never used it, which is I don't understand. Did they get rid of it because it wasn't used enough, or because the value?
My guess is they probably just had to keep paying so much in licensing and for no one to really use it, so they just got rid of it.
It says it's DRM free. Does that mean you just download it and it's just done and you get those games?
No, the DRM free collection is different from that collection.
What?
So there's what's called like the Trove, or like or what it was called the Trove at one point, where there's a set of published games by them you still get access to that's DRM free. So yeah, those you just download and that's it. But then there was kind of like an almost like Game Passy element to it as well.
Yeah, we had all the new games. So does that mean in
Yeah.
theory everyone should just get on there and download all the DRM free ones?
Well, that's part of the Humble collection, separate from this thing that's going away. So you're gonna have that anyway.
Oh. I thought that was all bundled together as the choice thing.
No.
Okay, that's why they don't
yes,
give
they
it.
are all part of choice, but they're not part of the same thing that's going away.
Okay, so I can't just download a bunch of games
can.
after the whole thing goes down.
No, again, there's two separate
This is why it's
components.
going down because people like me just don't understand. I'm just like I download choice and that's it.
It's two separate components. There is the Humble collection, so the games from Humble Bundle, those are still DRM free. You
Right.
can just grab them. And then there's like the curated list from their partners. That curated list from the partners is what's going away.
Oh, okay. But the humble. Okay.
The stuff that's still from Humble is staying there, and you still can get access to it. It's all
Okay.
DRM free, so you can just grab it anyways. But the stuff that's part of their
All the
partner
big
release-
games that we try to advertise.
Yes.
So you're saying there's a chance? Sure. Let's see. Why did I feel like there was like more weird news? Hey, shoutouts to the dude that was running Unity. He's getting kicked out.
Hell yeah.
That feels good.
Prior to that, was kicked out of EA. Imagine that you run two greedy operations and people don't want you around.
Yeah, no, he's gonna land. He's gonna get a job somewhere else. It's like
Yeah, he's got his golden parachute. He's fucked on off.
after after Don Matrick just came in and just destroyed Xbox and just landed himself a job at Zynga, it's like, yeah, anyone could land anywhere else. That's fine. When did Redfall get this update? Because I saw a post from Redfall saying there's not enough Steam players to fill a team on Steam right now for it.
Yeah, I think there's only like 27 concurrent players or something like that.
Yeah, they updated the game finally. But I wonder if it filled up. ChatGPT, I'm reading just the top on Reddit for r/games. ChatGPT was used to write Gollum game apology, it's claimed.
That's pathetic.
Hey, I need you to make me a. You know what? That makes sense. That's why all the templates were the same. Remember how that like everyone was spoofing off the apology letters that everyone kept making?
Yeah.
Hey, Chat GPT, can you make me a apology letter to a bunch of fans and make them understand that we messed up on this game, but we're gonna someday fix it? Sure. Arsenica said CD Projekt Red spent 120 million on patching and developing the DLC for Cyberpunk. That makes sense. I mean, that sounds like about how long the development time would have been had the game just stayed delayed where it should have been.
Oh, also there is the one big news from EA, which I forgot to bring up, and is also why I said fuck EA and BioWare when I showed off Jade Empire. After their entire office had unionized at what was the BioWare office, they fired everyone.
Oh. Cool. Speaking of more news, David, you love Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, I fucking love them.
Okay,
so
cool.
much.
So here's what they did with Assassin's Creed Mirage day one patch is they added Denuvo on a day one patch after the reviews that went out.
Bunch of cunts. Fucking A. Absolutely fucked off.
that's the oh my god. That's so annoying. Kels, I generally wish for the worst for BioWare as a company at this point.
It's all fucking horrible.
What even is BioWare at this point?
Hmm?
What's BioWare even comprised of at this point? What are they working on? They're working on that Mass Effect.
They were working on the new Dragon Age.
Is Mass Effect even in production?
No, the only thing they've been focused on is the Dead Wolf, or the fuck the new Dragon Age is called.
Yeah, so they're doing that, but they had to talk about something in the meanwhile. So like, we're also gonna do Mass Effect afterwards, right? Is that what happened? I forget. It's been a while.
I don't know.
And they talked about doing Mass Effect again. Calls it Dragon Age, Mass Effect 4, and I think they're supposed to have a new IP.
They don't have anyone to work on it, so.
Speaking of no one to work on it, Telltale laid off most of its staff.
You'll have to see it.
Everything. This is bad news week, except for the guy leaving Unity. That's fun. I didn't even realize. I think. Let me double check. I didn't even realize The Expanse was out. Did you know that?
What's The Expanse again?
That's that book series that Telltale was actually working on. That they made the game for.
No, no.
I heard it's really good. I think you'd probably even like it, maybe. But I've been meaning to read it. I have the audiobooks for that. Yeah, that came out 2 months ago. And all the episodes are out as of 20 days ago. I've not heard a single thing. Yeah, it's also on a sci-fi show. It's apparently really good too. I've not heard a single thing about this game until I heard about the layoffs. I don't know where the marketing went on that.
Considering they just laid off their whole staff, clearly they don't have money. So
it might have been because they just did not make money off that, and like they should have advertised that more. I guess I don't know. It's weird when a game slips by me, and I mean not when I'm like say like not an indie game, but like I feel like Telltale is. I mean I know they got rebooted kind of, but I feel like they're kind of prominent enough for me to not have slipped by me, right?
maybe.
I don't know. I wonder if Wolf Among Us 2 is in trouble. It probably is. Granted, that should have been worked on ahead of time. Huh. Um. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Apparently, modders have unearthed a bunch of content in the vanilla Marvel Capcom 3, including Doc Ock assets.
Did
So
it
apparently, Doc Ock was supposed to be in it originally.
supposed to be? What do you think happened?
They probably decided that he was too much of a pain in the ass to put in there.
I looked at that one. What was it? The trailer for the game. The people that made more Marvel's Capcom characters, right?
Yep.
Did that get received, or is it out yet?
They keep throwing more characters out over time.
Is that received well? Like, is it? Are they play well?
I mean, every so often, I see comments about it, talking about how people are enjoying some of the added stuff. It's still hyper limited because they're having to basically just continuously reuse and edit based on what's available. But
I was about to say, I don't understand how games work and how you can even do that. That's weird to me. I
I
don't
think
get
it's just because they've gotten enough access to not necessarily the source code, but the way that the engine works, that they can go ahead and copy and paste and then tweak a little bit, but they can't fully add in completely scratch it.
Okay, that makes sense. As much as my brain can handle making sense, I guess, with this. Yeah. I was gonna. I know we're like, you can tell us low energy. We're tired. I was gonna say something because I was like, I need something for the podcast. I was thinking of it and I forgot 100% what it was. I'm trying to think though ahead of time, or at least before we get through this. David,
Yo.
I'm gonna for the sake of content and for us to like at least get close to an hour because I refuse to put out a podcast for only 30 minutes.
I mean, I don't know what the hell. I came into this prepared to just talk about really Resident Evil.
That's
so-
fair. That's fair. I got my junk food micro in super early, loving it so far. I made some sick artwork. Ooh, what'd you make? Show me, or tell me. I'm gonna go off into the realm of tangents again, and I want you to follow along with this. Okay. Have you heard of the disappearance of Dennis Martin? 5-year-old kid. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your mic didn't pick whatever that was.
No, I haven't.
So 5-year-old kid, right? Disappeared around 1967. Okay. Wendy Goon has a good video on this, and he went with these other people that like they went out to the forest actually with it, which was actually kind of cool. It was a fun little way they're doing it. Ooh, Kel shared it with me real quick. Let me go look. Yo, those are sick. Show those to David. He'll love those. Those are sick, dude. So kid goes out there with his family, right? They're all out there camping. It's about like a 2-mile way in, right? I'm gonna try to get this the most abridged way I could. Set your mind in there, because I need the David theorizing for a second.
All right.
They go out there. The kids are just being kids, and they're like, we're gonna hide and scare the parents. Okay, the parents, they see, but they're like, all right, we'll let the kids think they're doing what they're doing. Okay. There's like, I can't really explain it. It's a pretty bushy area though, right? So it's not that much like, there's a lot of brush. Okay. Kid's hiding with his brother. Dad calls in saying, hey y'all, it's time to eat. Kids come down here. Dennis doesn't return. And he's like, all right, maybe the kid's just spending a couple minutes out doing his thing, whatever. 5 minutes rolls by, and he's pretty. This bush has been in line of sight. 5 minutes passes, and he's like, all right, this kid's not showing up again. So he looked back there, and he's gone. Like, oh shit. Okay, so they look around, can't find him. They walk all the way up and down this hill, do not find him. They call in park rangers, and then out comes, let me see how big of this was. 1,400 people to search for this kid, including let me see. I believe it was about 75 Green Berets. We're also hopping on this. The FBI was up on this. Everyone rolled up on this. Okay, so what happened is they looked around. They couldn't find anything. It's weird. They couldn't find them. Okay, they're going through. They're searching. At one point, they find 2 sets of footprints. One barefoot, one shoed. They asked the dad. And they think, oh, this has to be the kid. Like, this looks just like the shoe. Dad goes, oh, no, it's too big. Okay. It led down to a river. They had dogs sniff them out, followed the scent to the river, then nothing. They're like, all right, well, there's nothing else here. So they shoot everyone off on this side of the river still. Okay. The Green Berets, I believe also, I think, I forget what it was. I don't want to go into where we're theorizing, but like the Green Berets go silent for about 2 or 3 days off the radios. Like you just don't hear from them. And afterwards they call it off and they're done. They deem the kid dead. Or like not even dead, just like they can't find him, whatever. They don't actually say he's dead or something, but you know. The search area for this kid was miles, David. Like you're talking like miles, and by accordance with the dad, he had like a 5-minute head start, and you're talking like crazy search of miles. I guess, and there was another story Wendigoon mentioned, or someone else mentioned, that there was a kid that was like 3 years old. They found him 12 miles away, a day later. And like one experience, like hiker or something, like someone that's like built for that, like did that. He couldn't do it himself. It's like it's weird shit that happens right there. But like it's a complete mystery as to what happened to this kid. No one knows. There's no traces of anything. There was no like they didn't hear anything. They didn't hear Russell, any running. The kid was just gone. And never had status updates since then. What do you think on the top of your head? Because I got a couple of theories.
I mean, I think to some degree the dad's involved.
You would think it's weird. It's weird, right? Granted, it's also 1960s, so like dads were like that kind of like disconnected with their kids too, right? Like it realize this is a family that's out there, by the way. It's not just dad. It's families out, like a family is out there, like a big old family, and like dad didn't leave. Dad was out there cooking. They let him cook. But it's weird, right?
Yeah, I mean it's highly sus.
Yeah. I'm of the nature that I think dad was not paying attention, and it was longer than 5 minutes. I think that dad just kind of just either was that was either like worried by saying how long he actually spent not looking at him, or what do you say? Or he just didn't keep time very well. But you would think
it's definitely likely that, you know, if those are the kind of options, that if you presume innocent, that it's probably more something like he wasn't fucking paying attention at all and just kind of has guilt for it and knows if he says that, yeah, no, it was, I basically didn't really pay attention until I realized, kid's been gone a while.
Yeah,
That,
and so
makes him look more suspect.
right, and this kid was diagnosed with a mental disorder, very functional, still totally functional, just more difficulties in terms of processing, but there's like no sign of this kid. There's like a couple leading theories I can read off to you if there's nothing else you wanna throw out there, like just crazy Big Dave conspiracy theory. But there's a couple of theories I could throw at you, and you can tell me what these are, because I heard this. And it's one of those fascinating ones that just kind of like gets me thinking for a little while as to what the hell happened. So, theories. This is coming from the Wikipedia page. First is that he became lost, perished from exposure, or some other cause, likely during the first night. This is the most probable theory, according to the park officials. However, the shoe prints is what's throwing it off now. Right? Like the scent followed 2 pairs of feet, one barefoot, and the other one shoed, which the dad claims is too big for the son. The second says that he was attacked by a hungry bear or less likely a feral pig and carried off, but then you would hear the kid, right? I feel like the bear doesn't just get a clean kill and like wander off.
I mean, it depends on how far the distance already was.
It was a bush of line of sight. And correct, I don't know. I don't know my bear biology, but like I feel like bears don't really covertly kill like that.
I mean, it's less about a covert kill, and I feel like if it just runs up and gets one good swipe from behind.
Yeah, so like I mean, it could be that the kid. What was it?
Like if it was an ambush kill, there definitely wouldn't be much noise.
Right. So I think personally I could have seen it like the kid went to go pee or something. It was like getting bored of that, went to go pee, and then maybe got swiped off there. I'm thinking, or I think I saw a YouTube comment on that video, being like maybe the kid, because he was had the mental deficiency, that maybe they hearing a dad yell his name, maybe that thought he was in trouble, so maybe he just booked it and ran, or just took off, and then maybe after that got swiped up. But then again, we're talking like miles and miles of like really thick brush. Like, how does that kid get away? Third theory is that he was abducted and taken out of the park by something or someone. His father was a proponent of the third theory. On the afternoon that Martin disappeared, tourist Harold Key and his family heard an enormous, sickening scream, and shortly thereafter witnessed an unkempt, rough-looking man running up a trail near where the scream came from. Key looked on as the man got into a white car and abruptly spread off. Park rangers and the FBI concluded that there was insufficient evidence to link the statement of Martin's disappearance, particularly given that Key's sighting was approximately 5 miles away from where Martin disappeared, the exact time of the sighting being unknown, lack of trails connecting 2 sites. And yeah, I would feel like that kind of scream in the vicinity of where that family was, they would have heard.
You'd think.
Now, that also says something. Why did the Green Berets go off radio for 3 days?
Not that invested.
They were invested because they wanted to prove themselves. And then what was interesting, David, is that I believe they were the ones that waved everyone off away from the river. So like they got to that, quickly claimed, okay, no, it's no big deal, whatever. Everyone, let's go look around here. And everyone kept doing that while the Green Berets were off on the other side of the river. I have a theory. Everything come up to your brain with that new information, or no?
Is your theory potentially that one of them was involved in it?
No.
Oh, okay. Then no.
Was that your theory?
No, I just thought that was where you were going with it.
No. So, from what I've heard, and I think they said this, and I think I've read, there's some times where like if the results are too heinous that they won't tell the family, or maybe like so, like right, like it might be too fucked up to be telling them that. So it's good. I mean, they'd probably die easier knowing their kid was missing rather than like something atrocious happened. So originally, I thought surely the kid, I feel like maybe walked off and got swiped, and eaten. Right, like that's the only way you could really get away with like that. Granted, bones would be around, but like I don't know. The bones would be harder to find in like a foresty area if they're just pure bones,
I mean,
right?
especially if it gets brought back to like a nest or like a cave or something.
Sure. So that's a possibility. Granted, the shoes, the footprints, that's the key thing, David. That's the one. So legitimately, this is what I think. And I'm not being like silly. I genuinely think this, even though it sounds silly. Aliens, no. I think what happened is we're talking a big ass forest. This is what forest is this specifically? Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee. Huge. You're talking huge. It is huge, and it is dark, and it is the kind that gets cold and hot, where you were sweating and then you were freezing at night because of your sweat. The kid couldn't have lasted long on his own, so we're not talking like he went off on his own. I just don't see the kid having I just don't see this kid having wandered off on his own. So here's my theory. I think while the kid maybe even like wandered off or something, got snatched. Okay, then the kid got snatched. I think literally, and I'm not joking. I think real life wrong turn was happening. I think there was like some cannibalism, some sort of like tribe, something. I think something fucked up was happening on that side of the river. The Green Berets were in there. They saw this shit and they're like, oh, there's something weird here. They probably called everyone off and said, go on that side for everyone's protection. And Green Berets are special forces, dude. Like,
yeah, they don't fuck around.
Right. And let's see. They were established in 1952. They've only been around for 10 years at that point. Around there, 10, 15 years. So they're still trying to prove their name. I think they're taking it serious. I don't think they're not. And I think it's telling when they stop phoning it in. Like, I thought the radio sounds. So I think what might have happened is they called everyone off on that side of the river. Said, everyone go, yeah, fuck it. Look on that side. We're going to go on this side. They went there. They went radio silent. I feel like they hunted and found, like, some heinous shit. I think that kid got eaten by some cannibals or something, and they don't want to scare the public into being like, hey, a group of fucking crazy hillbillies are out here just, like, eating people. And they don't want to. They don't want to like ruin the touristy area or anything like that, because no one would ever go to that park ever again.
I think that if it's that, it would have to be a bit more heinous than that. Like, it's beyond just like, oh yeah, like they found remains. I think it would have to be almost more
like Resident Evil.
Like, yeah, like almost more like ritualistic, where it's like there's still like enough identifiable of the kid where, you know, he's tied, hanging upside down, naked, half eaten.
I see. I believe that. Because I also heard a story from that chapter talking about this crazy ritual killing in Mexico. That was like that. Like they just filleted this kid alive. Kid's in like college student, which is fucked up still. But hey, but like Mexico doesn't give a shit too. They'll just report whatever. U.S. is a lot more easy on the like. We don't say some shit that we might know might panic everyone. Yeah. So I have a feeling they found something heinous on that side, and the kid was involved. And you know what? I'm not inclined. I'm not against them thinking that just a group of cannibals were just out there eating people. Because I imagine that. Imagine you're here. I remember how news media gets out right there. Like there was like that dude in a hole that got internet historian shouts to that, where the dude in a hole was stuck in there for like
oh yeah.
Yeah, and that turned into like people like travel to go see that guy, right? So these news things, they travel, and so I'm not putting it past to be like, I think that there was cannibalism. They don't want to scare the public into like never going to that park again. Because if you're in a park right there, you're like, I'm not fucking going to that park. There's a bunch of crazy ass fucking people gonna eat me, right? No one's gonna do that. But they didn't want to scare the panic or panic the public, so they Green Berets took care of the problem, cleaned it up, and then just said, nah, that we're good. That's my theory. Unfortunate, low kid had to die for it, but I'm glad I could tangent.
Hell yeah.
I had tangent something. I was like, we were like 30 minutes or something on the podcast at that point. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about a 30-minute episode, which is fair. You came in ready to talk about Resident Evil, or not Resident Evil. Yeah, Resident Evil. I would say Resident Evil 4. Yeah. So I had to bring in something. Did you see the artwork that Kels posted?
What artwork?
Did he send to you on Twitter?
No.
Check your DMs real quick. If he didn't, I'll send to you.
Yeah, I got nothing in there.
All right, let me send you real quick.
Fucking coward.
Let's see. I'm gonna save it up here because I'm just gonna do that. Discord. Kelsey, it might be. I'm not sure I follow Big Dave. That's because
Wow.
David's handle is so hard to read.
The audacity.
I mean, it's true though. I'll send it to you in a second. Is that hold on. I don't think that worked, David. We're getting there. Give me a second. Where the heck did this go? This is a catastrophe.
Oh, now Kels follows me. Coward.
Don't call Kels a coward.
Coward.
How the fuck? You beat me to it, I believe. Yeah, I have it up on the stream. Okay. He'll probably send it to you before I got to it, but I'm still gonna do it anyway out of principle. Because I'm back down from a challenge. There you go.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
That's sick.
Ooh,
That's crispy. Which one should he use?
Armor King.
Yeah, I like the purple. Purple's clean. I'll put it up here for the chat. Let's see. Boom. I think it. I love when people capture something and they're so excited that they typo it. I don't know why that's just a funny thing to me. Of course, I like Armor King, but Negan is a great meme artwork. You use Negan at tournaments and use Armor King just whenever you're playing your buddies. I know the order I said that. That was a very specific order I said that in. Oops. David, stick on for a second, but I think we're good. I think that feels like a nice, easy podcast. I think.
Yeah, nothing like a little child murder to just.
I had to pump the podcast up, dude. I had to prep us up for some Resident Evil 7 that we're gonna have next week. It's spooky time. What about what's more spooky than Wrong Turn in real life with kids?
True. Although I do badly have to pee, so I'll be right back while you do our outro.
Oh, god damn it. I'm mentioning to David what they're doing for my class at least. Set the tone of the match real early. I like messing with my opponent like that. And I don't think people do that enough. So I train my students to like know when to like put a mental pressure on opponents. Um, so when we were prepping for finals, in fact, it's been all year actually, all last year. I was prepping the students really to be like, be ready because you're gonna be on stage and there's people cheering against you, and that's gonna fuck with you. Like genuinely, it's gonna fuck with you. The fact that you can't make a mistake because if you make a mistake, people are cheering, and that's gonna be tough on anyone that's competing, and that especially brand new, especially teenagers, 100%. So we really, me and the other coaches, really pushed on that mental health and well-being and making sure they were like good in a pressured situation, which is the reason why we won both games. I think the reason why we got both our golds was that they were not as adept to the pressure as we were. Mental game is a huge part of game. Yeah, no, it really is, because you think about it, there's a difference between you playing your game and you like in the middle of your own room alone versus playing a game on stage. Like there's like so much crazy mental behind it. And like even now, even when I don't go to tournaments, if I don't go for a little while, I get rusty on those right away. Talk about mental game in competitions, how it's one of the top things to practice if you're there, because it's the second your mental crumbles, you're done. I think, especially if you got someone that's good at identifying that. Whenever I play in tournaments, dude, if I play in tournaments and I see the corner of my eye, I see frustration out of you. Oh, I get excited, dude. I get so excited. I'm like, I'm about to camp this guy, or I'm gonna just like really frustrate them. And so I really focus on that end of it. And so whenever we're playing like Smash something, and I can tell. I've been playing Smash for so long. I know when I can tell in my opponent just by demeanor of how they play when they're more frustrated. I can just tell. And it sucks because when students ask me, how do you know? I'm like, it just kind of comes with time. I can't really teach that. And when I do, I'm like, all right, guys, like genuinely, that's what you taunt. And we're a pretty solid sportsmanship school. We don't like do anything bad sportsmanship. We're always pretty good. But I'm like, no, that when you're in a competition, you have an opportunity for a leg up. That's when you taunt. Strip, taunt. Run on the other side. If you're in a lead and they camp you out, run to the other side of the stage and taunt. You're gonna win. They gotta come to you. Like whatever. And it's won. Like that's why we won. I think. Cal said, "Don't give me an inch because I'll abuse it." Yeah, 100%. If I see it out of you, I'm in, 100%. Yeah, I was gonna mention to you what my kids are doing for film class, but because their assignment for the next about week and a half or 2 weeks is recreate any scene from any horror movie, and I think it's so fun because for one of my classes, there's two groups that are doing the intro to Scream, and one of them's an all girl group and one of them's an all guy group. So it's kind of fun to me to see like where do they split off and what are they gonna do? What is it? I got that. I got someone doing Hush. I got two teams doing Blair Witch. I got one that's doing the intro to Scary Movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Let's see. One doing Terrifier. I think two are doing Black Phone, I think. Is that it? And the one I'm super excited for, because I threw them this idea and they were in, and it made me so happy because all I want them to do is nail one thing, David. I got them doing the ending to Texas Chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if you guys nail like the sunset behind whoever's swinging down the chainsaw, I'd be happy. I'm good. I'm like, cool. I can retire next year. I'm good. I did all I needed. I got them to recreate that. I'm good. Great picks. A few of those movies date them by decades. Oh, they date them very much. Yeah, those kids are not that old, but they do appreciate some horror movies, which is fun. Which little side tangent for next week. I love all the movie references that you see in Resident Evil. Whenever you like, there's a lot of homages to it, which is fun to see. The ship being called as Annabelle is so funny. All right, that's where we're at. David, stick on for a second. Thanks for hanging out. Ooh, shortest podcast in a while, but that feels good. I'm good with that. We had a lot of good
Sometimes
boys.
it's good to have just a quick one.
Yeah, that's what your fiance says, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kels, for hanging out. Anyone else? Appreciate you guys. You guys take care. You guys have a good night. You know what? And at some point this week, I'm gonna try to stream Iron Lung myself because I was wanting to do that originally. I might stream it just for the fun, spooky vibes. But yeah, we're out.